I like it.
Gotta relax.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Gotta relax.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it. I like it.
Gotta relax.
This is Earth Radio. And now here's human music.
Human music. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Hello, ladies and gentlefish! It is Wednesday. We're doing art things. We have our raiding total hoot in the back. We have our unnamed dinosaur. And then we have little Spiky in the corner there. Our lovely fire going. Lizzie Bell is in the background doing some yoga.
Hello.
She has been exercising after a long week, which is kind of crazy, but you know, we'll go with it. So things that are supposed to be happening today. I was planning on finishing a commission, and altering it slightly, just for the fun of it. So basically making two versions of the same artwork. That was the plan for today. And then I realized that it's September, and I'm supposed to be doing Drawtober in September, but I forgot. So, we're on day 14, which means I have 14 artworks to catch up on. Or alternatively, which is actually probably what we're going to do, we're going to speed run Drawtober. I'm going to try and get as many done today as I possibly can. Next Wednesday, I'm going to get the bulk of the rest of them done. And then we're going to look at doing extra artworks on top of that on the following Wednesday if we've got time to do some streaming. That's the plan. So, yeah. It's gonna be kind of crazy. Here is the Stream Inc., which is the main one we're gonna follow. If there is anyone in here that we don't particularly like, if we can't think of something interesting to do, or if we've done it too many times and like it's just not interesting enough, like we can't think of an interesting thing to draw, then I have a couple of backups. I have the Inktober official prompt list for 2022. And then I also have a group of other prompt lists for various different, like Drawtober adjacent or Drawtober, Inktober type things. So we've got the Sketchbook Society's one, we've got Wild Wonder from Spelltober, and we've got, who else? We have one more. We did have one more. I am very sure that we had... Anyway, I'll find it later. But basically what that means is we've got options. Options are great because we don't always like sticking to the thing that we've got, and we like to, you know, jump around and change our minds a lot. But the general plan is we're going to go through these in any order we feel like, rather than doing it 1 through to 31. We're just going to get as many of them done as we can. We'll start with really basic sketches, and then I'm going to fill them out as much as possible. They will be... Oh, apologies. Oh, gassy today. I'm gonna rough sketch them all, and then I'm gonna fill them out later, or during this stream or the next stream. And then the plan is that I will be posting these in October, so I'll be posting them for the day they're supposed to be posted for. So I'm gonna like preset them all up. I'm gonna have them all nicely cropped and done, ready to post on the days whilst I am traveling through Europe, because that's where I'm going to be in October. Which is kind of silly, but that's what we're doing. On top of that, I'm also going to try and do some actual illustration while I'm over there. I'm going to take one of my art books, or a new art book, I don't know which, probably both. And I'm going to do the Drawtober stuff in my actual art books while I'm there. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do one a day. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do a good one, because we'll be traveling, we'll be doing a lot of different weird things. So I might just, you know, be too tired or whatever. But that's the plan. So the idea will be that there will be like 2 artworks per day-ish, maybe. But there'll always be one, because I'll have one ready to post. So that's the plan. Here's what we were going to do, and what we might do a little hint of before we start, because I actually really like it, and if we can find somewhere where I can muscle it in, I might cheekily do that. But I shouldn't, because technically it's against the rules. But this is what we have been working on previously, this glider. It's based very loosely on... this is a commission... in quotes, a request. They're not paying for it, so like timing is not really an issue. I've had ages to work on it, but they just wanted to see this kind of like their post-apocalyptic character from one of the games they're running as this sort of figure. I took heavy inspiration from their character, and also a game I started playing when I first started this, which was Sable. I have since got back into playing Sable because I've had a little bit more time, free time to work on things, and I am absolutely in love with the game. I highly recommend anybody go and play it. I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but essentially it's like a coming-of-age story in an RPG style exploration game. You go and do tasks to, you know, develop an understanding of the world that you're in. It's really cool. It's really, really pretty. The story behind it is not super deep, but like engaging and interesting. And if you are into that kind of game, if you're into that kind of storytelling, there is a lot of fun and interesting things in there, and a lot of like hints to deeper things that like you could explore or you know, come up with in your own mind. So I really like that whole thing, the whole game basically. I'm really enjoying it. So if you can, you should go and check it out. I don't know how much it is. I'm going to check that right now, given that I'm telling people to go and buy it. It's currently $35 on Steam, $36 on Steam. I would probably wait until it's on sale. It goes on sale fairly frequently, as most Steam games do. Not that it's not good enough for $35, but that for the amount of content in it, I think it's probably better to get it for a little cheaper if you can. I got it for cheaper, and it was very much value for money. But you know, it's up to you. So I, having come back to this artwork, and previously having worked on this artwork a bit, let's maybe a little more. There we go. there's some things that I don't like about it. There's some things that I want to change about it, and sort of reasonably rightfully so. I'm going to turn this music up ever so slightly. Maybe not that much. There we go. Because I don't know if I'm going to do a huge amount of talking today. I'm doing a lot of talking at the start, as I usually do, but we might get a little quieter in here afterwards. This arm is not sitting right, so instead I was going to move this whole thing down to here. I could leave it where it is and have it be, but I actually think bringing it down here makes more sense. So basically we get rid of this and realign the arm joint. Then one of the other things that I was thinking was these pants aren't particularly interesting or dynamic, so I wanted to change these up slightly. The original character does wear these kinds of like jeans, so I was thinking like just making it clearer that they are jeans, and then probably like just adding some more what am I thinking? Like cloth mechanics, essentially. Fabric movement, that's it. I need to do something about the arc of this, I think, a little. I don't mind this, but I think the perspective is off on it a little, given how the front is. So it should actually shift a little bit more this way. The foot should probably end there, the toe. It's a little long of a foot on this side. Similar thing on this side as well, just like a little bit more boxy, should probably finish there. And then the face, I was not particularly happy with how this face turned out. I'm not sure exactly what the problem is here. The hair is not perfect, and I don't know. I think maybe just that like she should probably be looking a little bit more to the camera, and maybe the face needs to be a little bit more compacted. I have a tendency, and Lizzie Bell showed this to me not long ago. I have a tendency to elongate faces. Everyone's a giraffe in my book, or a puppy. Maybe everybody needs to be a puppy. But yeah, other than that, this is looking pretty good. And then the, work on the background. And then I don't think I'm going to be colorizing it. I'm pretty happy with it being in this black and white, but I think I want to put in some more definition and some hard gradient in, just so that like things pop a little bit more. So that was kind of the plan or the idea I had. So there's a few things that I would need to fix up. I was going to do that today. We may still do that at some point, but we're going to move on for now to working on this stuff. Just because otherwise we won't have enough time to get everything done. So I'm just going to take all of these and chuck them on a new layer in here. That's not what I want to do. There we go. I'll actually probably make this a little bigger, just so that we... So some clever folk will realize that these are all stream friends of ours. Well, not all, but quite a few of these are people that we raid into or that we watch, that we advertise on the channel. So stuff by Sunshine, art by Jim, Mr. Mao, Big Global and Energy, Tobias, who else do we know? Census Taker, Sleepy Illustrations, Scrappy Jane, Maya, who else? Soapus, Innovates, Coach Shannon. Is Galacticat's not on this one. It's interesting. But yeah, so streamers. This thing was put together by streamers. If you are around in October and want to watch art streams, each of these streamers will be streaming all of these. So I'm pretty sure most of them will be streaming every day or at least every other day. And then on the day itself, this particular streamer will be streaming their one. So on, the 29th, Mr. Mao's going to be streaming Grim. On the 19th, Blue Skittle will be streaming Fluffy, etc., etc., etc. So you can watch all of those. So we're gonna just get to it. I am just gonna use my usual brush because I like it. I'm gonna start with which one? Number 8, Milkshake. If you've got any idea for any of these particular ones, I'll show them all again in a second. But yeah, if you have any particular ideas of things that you think would look good, or that you particularly want to see, do let me know. Because I'm open to ideas. I'm open to suggestions. And that might actually make some of this run a little faster, a little bit more smoothly if I have some extra input. There's no guarantee that I will like and take up your idea, but I'm gonna move this whole thing down. Oop, that's not right. I'm probably all going to do these on the same thing. Should I do this much larger? Probably. I actually want it to be, a little bit more askew. The idea I had was like a advertisement for like a milk bar type thing. That's what we're gonna do to begin with. We are currently listening to our art stream playlist, which is mostly just stuff from Epidemic Sounds. If you like the sound of anything in particular, do let me know. and I can try and get more of that particular sort of sound of song. More of that genre. We've got a pretty eclectic list going at the moment. A mix of jazz, house, trance, a little bit of electro, some indie rock, but mostly just chill vibes is what we're going for. Like that. That is the wrong angle for that. Because we want like a hint of them down here. And then there. That's it. So I hope everybody has been having a good day slash evening slash morning slash whatever it is for you. My day's been pretty chill. I put together a treadmill, which was exhausting. The instructions said it was a two-man job. I proved them wrong. Which is silly. Don't do that. Don't do as I do. Don't do as Donny Dode does. our Burning Man Relief Fund, our little Burning Man projects, Burners Without Borders charity stream did well. We ended up with $30 in combined subscriptions and bits donations. So that is being donated in full to Burners Without Borders. And I am also matching that amount, so we're going up to 60. And I'm just looking at my finances at the moment to see whether or not I can pump a little bit extra into that. But I think so far matching dollar for dollar is not a bad way to go. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Stop fussing me. Okay. I'll be right back, stream friends. There is a mild puppy emergency. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. No major issues. Just unfortunately, a slight nail issue. Cracked nail. So yes, as I said, the reason I won't be able to do Drawtober in October, or at least we'll have to be severely changing how I'm doing it, is because we're going to Europe. So if any of my streamy friends happen to be around and want to catch up, we will be in France to begin with for 2 weeks, or a bit over 2 weeks. So if you're around and you want to catch up, please do let us know. We can organise something like that. So that'd be pretty cool. Do a meetup, catch up with friends. Oh, apologies. Might be a little strong for our blue one here. Let's move it a little bit more pastel. We're going to do a similar in the red. Sure that we've got the right one. So it's this one. A little red streak there. And then the other one I was just going to do like purple. Like one side. Hey, that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Let's fix up this side, and then we're going to fix up the line art ever so slightly. Just because some of it is not tracking properly. Just clean it up. Underneath. It's actually one of the things at university that I had an interest in doing but never actually got around to doing because it would have taken up one of my elective slots, was glass blowing and glass artworks. I have the opportunity now to do it, which is exciting. So for a friend's birthday, we're gonna try and get around to doing some of that. Yeah, previous to I had the opportunity and then missed out on it. So I guess that's a show of like, don't feel bad if you miss an opportunity the first time around. It can come up again, and if you you particularly regret not doing something, or you know, having something slip between your fingers, there is always a way to pursue it later. So don't let your regrets compound on you. I don't particularly feel regret for not doing it while I was there, because the things I got to do instead were as or more interesting. At least I think so. And they led me to where I am today, which is the most important part of that. Generally how I approach that idea when people go, oh, you know, do you have any regrets, or do you have any, like, if you could do your time over, would you do anything different? Well, there might be some small things that I would do differently, or things that I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that, or I probably shouldn't have done it that way. But I don't regret anything, because I ended up where I am, and that's super important. I'm very happy where I am. I am quite blessed. Hashtag blessed. And I work quite hard to get to where I am, so it feels like it would be a bit of a slap in the face to past and current me, to be like, oh no, yeah, I'd do all this differently, or yeah, I'd give up that, or I'd get rid of this, or whatever. Even all the traumatic, terrible situations, you know, they've built who I am, so don't think I would be without them. But then that's always a weird thing to say, you know. People don't like that as an answer usually, and sort of fair enough. It's a weird position to take, even if it's not like super uncommon as a concept. To be wholly devout to it as an idea. Wholeheartedly on board with it is not as common, I think. And there's a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, no, that's you know, that is the situation, and then be like, yeah, but I wouldn't ever want to live through it again, or I wouldn't ever want to, you know, if I went back I would change all these things, blah blah blah. That seems to be the more common answer. But who knows, maybe I'll change my mind in X number of years. And I realise I could have been doing things vastly differently up until this point. Could have gone into tattooing instead of teaching straight away. It would have been a vastly different experience of my life. Would have met much different people. And my life would have been significantly more different, but yeah, I still don't think I would. Still don't think I would do anything differently. But I have said that to people, and then they turn around and be like, "Well, that's just because you've never X, Y, and Z." To, you know, politely remind them that they don't actually know who I am. They don't know what I've been through, so they can't say that for certain. So we need a name, as the title of this stream does suggest, and we're going to be doing another couple of these, at least one more, if not two, if not 3 or 4. So, you know, if you help me pick a name, it's probably going to be the name for a little while, possibly even into next year. When I, you know, inevitably end up doing something like this again, because I'm a bit of an age. But we can't call it Drawtober because it's not Drawtober, because we're not doing it in October. Could call it Drawtember, but I don't know if that's got the same ring to it. Septober I thought was pretty funny, though it is a bit silly as a concept. I think I'm gonna do this. Just speed this up a little. We are going to come back into this and fix this up slightly. But I just want to clean up some of these edges because, as you can see, some of this doesn't quite fit. Yeah, so we had a few ideas. They're obviously there in the chatty do. So you can have a look through those if you like, or you can suggest some in the chat if you would like. If you are watching on a VOD, I do have an about section down there that's got a doobly-doo in it to leave suggestions, a suggestion box. Alright, this looking pretty good. actually just want to clean up some of these edges because just make it look a little nicer, a little cleaner. And then we'll go in with our little brush. Just add in that definition back. Don't want to do too much. Don't want to overdo it. But that'll take it from being the very pencil-y, brushy, messy look to being something a little bit more solid, which is good because that's kind of what we need with this. Okay, like that. And one up here. I think there might need to be something in the middle there. I'm not quite sure yet visually, but we'll get to that. Just trying to sort of round these out a little bit more because they're not quite spherical. Some of them aren't quite spherical, and that's a problem because they're supposed to be little spherical bubbles. I've had a couple of milkshakes like these, and they're pretty awesome, gotta say. This is coming together pretty nicely. I did say that I was going to sketch them all out and then work on them, but that didn't happen, did it? I lied! I'm a liar! Try not to hold it against me. Oh, that's looking really good. Yeah, I'll catch an electrode, why not? Oh, those who missed yesterday, I beat the Elite Four in the Hoenn Legion. So that's now... what is it? Kanto finished. And Hoenn finished. We're just waiting for Cog to catch up. He's making his way through the Victory Road currently. He's got to beat Wally. And once he's done that, he'll take on the Elite Four. And then we move on to the next game. Still trying to figure out how we're going to do Johto. Just because the platform Poke MMO that we're using isn't doing the trick. It's not doing the job, unfortunately. So that's something we might have to play around with. Might end up being that we both use an emulator. Which might not be a bad idea. And then I'll have to start considering what we're going to do for a lot of these newer games. And by that point, I think the new one will be out. Scarlet and Violet. Which will be fun. I don't think I'm going to stream them. I was considering for a little while streaming Legend of Arceus. I think I need to yeah, this layer. Clean up some of this. And then put it down in the base as well. Just a tad. So that we can see what's there. And then probably that blue as well, actually, now that I think about it. There we go, we'll put a bit there, and then just the beginning hints. Oh, that does look good. Nailed it. Fucking nailed milkshake. Damn right. Right, so that's... Ooh. That's milkshake done. Ooh. Alright. What's next? We've got a few options here. I mean, we've got 30 options. A few. Let's do a little vibe check. $75, hell yeah. That's where we're at, that's where we're at. The vibe is 75. All right, so let's mark off some things here. The ones in red I think are going to be tricky. So Hug for one, Trouble, Fluffy kind of, Menace, Grim shouldn't be too hard, Skittery shouldn't be too hard, Collection is going to be an in-depth one, probably as well as storefront. Crawley is going to be very similar to Skittery, so it'll be difficult to like come up with something that's like different for each. Lace is going to be pretty intricate. That's probably it. The other ones are going to be fairly easy. What we need to be careful of is that dragon isn't just a standard dragon. Making book interesting. Journey, I think we're probably just going to do one of our usual self-insert characters, as we usually do. Potion, making potion look interesting and different. Mycelium, making an interesting mushroom is going to be an important one. Lemon, I'm trying to think of a good lemon artwork that's not just drawing a lemon. I could try and do a photorealistic lemon, but I don't know if that's interesting necessarily. I'm in two minds about Bat. Half of me wants to go like silly, and the other half of me wants to go like more realistic. Yeah, so we've got some things to consider. I think we'll go potion next. Just because I think we can make an interesting. This is how you know you've done a good job of like a simple artwork, especially in digital art. If you can take your line art away and you can still see exactly what the artwork is supposed to be. It's hard because we've got pastels and lots of light colors, but that's just definitely still a milkshake in a glass. Like, so that's good. We're gonna merge with the layer below because that's gonna be our milkshake. So we're gonna call that milkshake. And then this is essentially what we're gonna do. We're just gonna hide and work on the layer below it. This is not the way you should do art, but this is the way I'm doing art today. So we're gonna save this as, what are we calling this? Drawtober. Septober. There we go. Nailed it. Because we don't have a name yet. We're struggling with a name. Alright, I'm going to chuck in a bunch of extra layers here because actually we want to work a little higher. We're going to bring our brush up to like a 30. And then we're going to get to drawing. So what is this? 7. Number 7. Oh, that's probably too big. 25? Yeah, that's not bad. Potion. Give me your strongest potion. I'm gonna leave you on the glider. Just while I quickly run to the bathroom. Actually, no, I'm going to put on an ad. Let's run an ad, everybody. Be back. New from Bartist & Co. Tired of getting sick? Feeling depressed? Do you fear COVID-19 and the 5Gs? Buy one of our rocks today. Delicious and sourced from your local sidewalk. We deliver it straight to you or possibly your neighbor's door.
I used to be in chronic pain all the time. Fatigued. I mean, I could barely function. Doctors suggested having breakfast and going for a walk, but even that didn't help. So I tried this new Bartist & Co product called Rocks, and all my troubles just disappeared. I definitely recommend it.
Yes, that's right. Licking our rocks will cure all ailments. Don't waste your time with modern medicine or drugs. 100% no money back guarantee. You too could lick rocks. Buy today. Bup, bup, buh. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. To see a man about a dog. Alright, potion. So I was thinking of doing like a... I was planning on doing like a pretty angular one and then filling it with shit. Which I may still do. But I want it to be a little wider in the middle actually now, mainly because being able to fit enough interesting things inside it. But okay, here's the approximate that we want to go with. So we'll have a like that, and then this is not turning out exactly how I wanted it to, but that's all right. And then one of these. How would that go? Like that? Sort of liquid to there, and then something in here. And the idea I had was going to be like some kind of vine growth, vine wrap in here, and then potentially like a skull, maybe. What do we think of that? And then do we just get rid of this and just make it like it is that wide? Maybe. Okay, that looks pretty good. We'll go in. So we'll bring it down to 20. Make this like 20 exactly. But I'm not gonna be able to unless I type it in. Ugh. That's alright. Stop nitpicking. Oh, Cranidos, yeah. Let's get us a Cranidos. Catch. do want to get myself a better drawing tablet than this. I'm using a Wacom 1, quite an old Wacom 1. It's not bad by any means necessarily. The like sensitivity, the pixel density on it is not amazing, but it's definitely not bad. Like, it's picking up all of the little gestures and the little, you know, movements and all that kind of stuff that I'm doing. So, like, no real complaints there. And then and it definitely does the job. It is just old. It's quite finicky, and it's starting to have some troubles, unfortunately. I've noticed it will occasionally just not realize that it's connected, or not recognize the driver. And so then I have to like restart the entire computer to get it to work, which is very frustrating as a thing. And it's not particularly good at like turning or rotating canvases and things like that. It doesn't have some of the functionality that the newer models have, which, you know, is fine, because I don't work, at least my digital work is not particularly like, you know, heavy manual movement kind of thing. It's sort of just like work from where you're at. But it would lend itself to my traditional art background to be able to manipulate and rotate the canvas in real time, just using the controls of the pad. There is a way to set it up, but on this one, but they're not great. It's not super responsive and it's not super clear. So I'm not sure I'd want to do it all that much. You're doing something, and you're doing something, you know, even semi-professionally, which is probably where I would consider myself to be at. You know, it's worth investing in your tools, in your trade and your education, making sure that you are up to date in all the things. Some very vibey music going on in the background here. I think this is angled a little wrong. I think that is the peak. There. That's better. There we go. Cool. we're having quite a deep and meaningful yesterday. So apologies to anybody who was watching who got bummed out by what I was saying, or took it particularly to heart. Yeah, my point was not trying to. I mean, I am of the mindset that like humans mostly are pretty shit, but I wasn't trying to bring anybody down or blame anybody in particular. And if it came across that way, I apologize. But my intention was more to point out that there's lots of things that we do that we don't recognize the impact that it can have on other people or on the environment, and that often, you know, the best intentions ends up actually not being all that good. And that there's a lot of things going on, especially at the moment, that are sort of attempting to be the best intentioned thing, attempting to be the sort of the right thing to do. And if you're not informed enough, you can be very quickly sort of brought into the trap that like, oh yeah, I'm helping and I'm doing good, when actually you're not doing all that good. There's a lot of like, you know, opposing nuclear power as a green renewable, based on ignorance about what nuclear power is and how it works, and in favor of, you know, solar or wind or hydro or whatever, where, you know, actually nuclear is a better option than almost all of those for a vast different number of reasons. But if you didn't know anything about it, then it would be really easy to fall into the sort of the propaganda trap of, well, nuclear bad, as a thing. And it's important to like be aware that that's a thing, that it's pushed by, you know, certain groups of people intentionally. And there was a point that was made that I didn't really respond to because I thought the conversation had sort of gone on long enough, pretty much. But there was a discussion about like the idea that, you know, corporations should be the one ensuring that, you know, they're doing the right thing or whatever. Like we as consumers can't be, or we as, you know, everyday people can't be expected to learn about all the things and be aware of what's happening in our world and stuff like that. That's just too much to know. And while I kind of understand that point of view, and I agree to a little bit that, like, you know, you do have to cut yourself some slack because you can't know everything, and that's totally fair, you can't put the onus on someone you know is not going to do the right thing. Like, you can't put the onus on a corporation, or at least not solely on a corporation, because you know they're not going to do the right thing, and in the end, it's just you and the universe that suffers from being like, well, it's someone else's problem, kind of thing. So yeah, but no, it's a hard one to sort of play with and work around, and it does come across as sort of blaming people or blaming, you know. My point is kind of like, do the best you can as an individual, and the best you can do might be like next to nothing. If you know, have mental illnesses and you're poor, that's, you know, perfectly fine. Do what you have to do to survive. But if you have the ability, if you have more time, if you have more spoons, it's worth investing the energy to understand, what's happening with these things. And taking things a little bit deeper. So, trying to recognize where your products come from, where your energy comes from, where your waste goes to. You don't have to be perfect. Like, I'm still a fucking meat eater who drives a fossil fuel powered car. Definitely not innocent in this. But being aware of the things, and then, trying to do something, trying to do a little. And then, there's the whole, is being selfish or sort of singularly community-minded evil? And I'm not sure I necessarily... Thank you for a save the art and a hydrate. Hey, Cog. And a stretch. Hey. Hey, check out my merch. You can go to my merch store and check it out. We've moved to Redbubble. I know Redbubble has some issues. They are significantly less than the issues that Streamlabs was giving us. So I'm fairly comfortable with moving to Redbubble, and I'll just have to be extra careful with keeping on top of some things. But that's a thing we can do, and it's much better than what was happening. What was happening with Streamlabs? For those who don't know, I did have my merch store originally set up with Streamlabs. And there was just lots of there's lots of arbitrary restrictions they put on, what you can put in. So you can only have a certain number of things in your store. There is a little bit more of a leeway in how you can edit some of your designs, but the quality that it comes out of is not super clear when you're designing it and setting it up. So that's a thing. And then one of the other issues was, as soon as there was a design issue, they never bothered to tell us about it for about 2 months, and just waited until someone purchased said product, and then didn't inform the customer, didn't inform me, waited for me to bring up a complaint on the customer's behalf, and then sent an email to me as the streamer, and then me as the customer, because I sort of messaged on their behalf, and in doing so was like, oh, here's the issue, contact the streamer for more details. And I'm like, but I'm the one contacting you because I have no idea what's going on. So I was a bit frustrated by that. I tried to contact them a couple of times and be like, hey, what's going on? Can you clarify some things? And they just weren't particularly helpful. I fast-tracked getting the design approved and sent through, so that it could at least be sent out, and then was like, yeah, no, this is not worth it. They then did get the product out eventually, which is good, but they didn't inform us of any updates or anything like that. It was a bad taste in the mouth kind of thing. So we've moved over to Redbubble. Redbubble has, I have seen some issues with certain prints and with what am I thinking? With the words are hard. With some of their customer service stuff, that like they're not super quick to respond if you have an issue, which isn't going to be great. However, I still think they're going to be doing better than Streamlabs would have been. So we're gonna go with this, and we're gonna see how we go. They run off a very similar sort of system, like print to order, based on like whatever the design is, and it, like they won't check things ahead of time and stuff like that. So if there is a problem, it's going to be the same thing of like, you know, I'll find out when it comes up kind of thing, which is frustrating, but short of printing, you know, a whole bunch of the same product and seeing how that goes, I don't know what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm just gonna very lightly lay in. Am I working on the right layer? I am. Perfect. I'm not stupid. How you doing, Cog? Hope you're having a good evening. I didn't manage to catch your DayZ stream, unfortunately. Hope you had good fun. Okay, so I was thinking some kind of like sickly green in this, but actually like a bluey purple is probably going to be a better option here, I think. It was Roken's stream, and you just hosted it. That's fair. You're about to hit the shower/bath, the toilet. Wonderful. Enjoy. Is this the right color? Maybe a little lighter? That's better, I think. A little lighter. If I had done this on different layers, which would have been the smarter option, I wouldn't have to be so careful around all of these things, but there you go. Hints and tips from the New World Artist. Don't do as I do. And then we're gonna have to figure out what the middle color for this wash is to go over the top of that. I might just do a low opacity run over the top and then figure out what the color is, like color map to it. Use the dropper tool, but we'll see how we go. This on repeat so that we don't lose our music. We didn't die. Didn't die though, survived the wilderness, snuck into an abandoned military base, collected some nice salvage, then you got attacked by some Americans with very bad aim. You lost them in the woods, set up a campfire behind a bridge to warm yourselves, eat some food, and then you logged off there. Very nice. Congratulations. Sounds like an exciting stream. Blub blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub blub blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub blub blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub numerous order. Blub 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 blub. Blub blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub blub blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub 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 blub. Blub blub. Ah, there we go. That's 1 minute. Well, no, I wanted to point out that I was doing the numerous order spiel within blobs or bloblobs, but yeah, I don't know what the fish translation to numerous order would be. I'm assuming it would be blob. Or at least blob blob. Which is an important distinction, because, you know. Well, I wouldn't want to presume that you wouldn't know. The plumerous blobber. Well, no, because you can't do, like, a middle. You can't... It's either one or the other. It's either blub blub or it's the numerous order. It's either it doesn't translate or it does. And if it does, then it's just blub blub. I wonder if I could do... It would be very silly, and I don't think I will actually do it, but, like, I wonder if I could do an entire stream just blub blub. I don't know. I don't know how many people would actually want to watch it. They have English hybrid words. Yeah, it's more just like accented words than... Yeah, but it's not Macadonald-do. It's just yeah, it's just like they change because their written language has specific lettering combinations for like Romoji, or for Kanji, which would be what they actually use translated words for. But what's a good example? Like oranji jusu. So they don't just have like a juice doesn't just have a CE at the end. They don't have a CE as a thing. So they put su, which is TSU or SU. And so you pronounce the U because it's in there. But like it's not, it's sort of an artifact of like how they spell it rather than a proper pronunciation. So if you have a Japanese person who has learnt English, and a lot of them do, they will just sort of cut the U short. So there's a hint of it, but it's not really there. So it wouldn't be like, it wouldn't fully be numerous blub, or like blubberous. They would try as closely as possible in an accent to say numerous order. Sort of as the idea, at least, if it's following those same rules. More stretch. Oh, and you can see the art. It's right there. Ugh. Here, I'll move it over to the center so you can see it better. If you combine these, do we get to see tarot tats? Do you mean do you get to see my runes, my leg runes? Like when you mix magic spells? No, but I will show them to you anyway. Because why not? Where is shit talking? Story time. Here we go. Oh, leg. Alright. So here's what we've got so far. I have done my knee now. We're working our way up my leg. As you can see, we've got some fresh ones here. Fresher, at least. And then we have our... Oh, I don't think I can pull it any closer than that. So, I said 17 sets. I said 11 sets, or 279. So, I have... Oh. Here we go. So I have, out of my tattoos, I've got, like, the Pokemon tattoos along here, and then I've got, like, the ones on my arms, so like my Burning Man tattoos, I have my dragon, things like that. So this is a set of a tattoo, but it's actually two different tattoos. And then I have, like, my Pokemon tattoos, which are here. This is not the best. There you go. Kind of see them better. So this is a set of tattoos along here, but they're individual tattoos. They're sort of discrete elements. And if you want to take that to its extreme, my leg has some 250 currently tattoos. Each of those little rectangles is its own little tattoo. I've designed it on its own as a discrete element. I don't know if I have my book here. I have like another 150 or 200 to go. So I'm going to have... the whole leg's going to be covered. But the idea is that depending on how you consider it, if they're one tattoo as like one big like sleeve, if they're one big tattoo, or if they're individual tattoos that sort of make up one whole. And so that's why it's 17 or 279. Definitely a reasonable excuse to say hundreds. Yeah, well, because unlike a sleeve where you design the sleeve, or you have like maybe 3 tattoos on it and then you design something that sort of joins them all together, these are actually like marked off from each other. I've done the grid pattern, I've made the outline of where they're going to go, and then each one is put on individually. They're put on in groups, because I do like 20 or 30 of them at a time. But they're individual tattoos. They're not all joined together, they don't all mix together. They're sort of discrete elements. So it's how you determine it. It's how you want to look at it. Wank, 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 wank. Does that answer your question adequately? Redacted. Yeah, so it comes across as a little ridiculous, but it makes sense to me. And most of my tattoos are going to be like that. Like I have a plan for what my back tattoos are going to be like. I have a whole thing set out for what it's going to look like. And you know, some people would sort of argue. Basically, to give an idea of what it's going to be, they're going to be tarot cards, so full-size cards, and I'm going to have a whole back full of them. So I'm going to have them all outlined to begin with, and then I'm going to have different artists come in and draw or tattoo in the specific image for each card. The card itself will be named, and then they'll have sort of free reign, more or less, to design however they want whatever is going to be on that card. So the card will be like dragon, or you know, plague, or whatever it happens to be. It's going to be important parts of my quest, because that's sort of what I want to do. But the idea is that it will be an artwork designed by that particular artist and showcasing their skill and the kind of style of art that they do. So I wouldn't consider in that vein that those artworks are then one artwork, because they're not. They're a group of artworks by a group of different people, and that's sort of an important part of that acknowledging the individual elements, even if they work together to make a larger whole. My mindset is similar with the stuff on my leg, that like it's lots of smaller individual elements that make up a larger piece, and it's important that that larger piece doesn't overshadow the individual parts of it, because the individual parts are important, sort of as important on their own as any other part. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of the idea, my wanky idea. Wank, 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 wank. I do like the idea of joining multiple multiple redemptions together to make a like new redemption that you want. But I don't know if I'm going to be giving that power to my audience. Just because I can't guarantee what's going to come out of it. And there'll probably be times when people will want something that I am unwilling to do, and they'll be like, oh, but I spent the channel points. So, I'll have to go back and highlight the tattoo showcase segment. As in, no, it sounds like Larporg. Well, just in the sense of like, I don't want people to, you know, start thinking that they can like just spend the points and put it together without asking me first, and be like, oh well, I spent the points, so I should be able to do the thing, and be like, well, no, I never said that I was going to do that. If I wanted it to be a redemption, if I wanted it to be something that I would do on the channel, I probably would have put it in the redemptions, wouldn't I? I don't want to show off my tattoos every time because people ask for it. Like, if people ask, I'll do it. But I'm not going to make it a channel redemption because I don't want to at any point in time just have to whip out my tattoos. We're not giving you freedom because you won't do what we want you to do with it. No, not necessarily. I think it's a difference between it's not something I would be willing to do, so I'm not going to give you the opportunity in the first place. Like, not asking you to make a roll in D&D. I think that's probably a more apt description. I'm not going to get you to roll for something that you're never going to be able to do anyway, because what's the point? If you insist, then I might make you roll based on, like, not having terrible consequences happen afterwards. But, yeah. In my case, not necessarily. In their case, definitely. Yeah. That's probably accurate. I will eventually do a full tattoo showcase on the channel, in case anybody is interested or particularly wants that. I don't know if I'll make it a rewards thing. You know, people pump channel points into it, and then we'll do it on the stream at some point or something like that. But yeah, just going through and explaining, like, hey, this is what this tattoo is from and what it means, because basically all of them have some sort of meaning to them. Quite a few of them religious or semi-religious, spiritual in nature, or based on, like, things that have happened in my life. I have quite a few that are, like, part of my spiritual practice. You get the good camera out for it. Whip out the movie magic. Yeah, we could do that. When I'm down there one time. I mean, if I set up the camera properly, this one, It's not bad quality. You'll be able to see everything. Just have to get around to actually, you know, doing it properly. Hey, we're back to the start. Alright, let's just jump back in here somewhere. Rare rocks that look like David Letterman. Hell yeah. I've done the thing again, where I said I would just do the quick outline and then not. Whoops. Sorry, guys. coming out pretty well. So that means we're 2 in. We've spent an hour on each, more or less. Which, you know, is actually pretty standard for me. Slightly disappointingly so. We were hoping to speedrun a bit of this, but perhaps not. That's right. We'll make these look good. We'll make them look pretty, and then we'll maybe rough out a couple of other ones and not detail them as much, and then we'll work on detailing them next time. Perhaps we'll see. I sort of do this. I say, oh yeah, this is the thing I want to do. This is my intention, and then never actually follow through with it. I'm a shit. Right, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go over this. Yeah, this is slightly. There we go. Probably not that small. 9 will do it. I'm going in to define my edges a little bit more strongly. Fix up my line out a little. Save the work. So there we go, saved. Hope everybody is having a good time. Everybody's happy, looking after yourselves, self-care, very important. I've noticed that my one of my timers have been going off today. What that's about. For those who don't know, I usually have a couple of things that come up sort of every 30 minutes or so that just kind of reminders of things. The self-care, the merch stuff, the Discord, other art streamers and stuff. I know that my bot's working, so I don't know why they're not. I'll have to give that a look after the stream finishes, I think. But seeing as it's not doing it, let's quickly go through. So there is the Discord. Check out the Discord if you want to. There is my... Nope. Is it Instagram? Instagram. There you go. There's my Instagram. Check out all the art on there if you are interested in the kind of art that I do. If you are particularly interested in the kind of art I do, there is the merch store. You could own my artwork. If you have a specific request or commission that you would like me to do, you are always welcome to message me on the Discord, message me on Twitch. I check neither of them all that often. But you know, either are, you know, decent ways to reach me if you want to. What else? I do check the Discord like every second day. When I'm streaming, I check it, you know, every day that I'm streaming. If I am not streaming, then it's usually every second day. And what else? What else do I need to do? Self-care, obviously. Looking after yourself. Make sure to have a drink. Make sure to have something to eat. Rest. Look look after yourselves. You're all wonderful creatures of the night. So make sure you are properly looking after yourselves. Take your meds. Do some exercise. Have some breakfast. You know, all the stuff your therapist tells you you're supposed to do. Calling myself out here as well. Don't worry, it's not just you guys. Pretend like I've got my shit together. I am aware that this is not perfect because, and the reason why I know it's not, it's more just a sort of sketch piece. There should be some more distortion, some image distortion in how this bottle warps. And then also there should be the markings on the other side of the like the actual bottle, which, based on my thing, should be here approximately, going down that way. It's a weird angle. I've kind of done this double perspective thing. Don't know if I like it necessarily, but I mean, I like the artwork. The artwork's looking pretty good. This is the kind of shit that I could see people getting tattooed on them. If you would like to use this design for a tattoo, you're welcome to. This one in particular. I do designs. I do custom designs. If people want, you can commission me to do whatever you like, within reason. Doo-doo. Scooby-doo-doo. Scooby-dooby-doo. Where are you? Got some work to do now. Doo-doo, do you do the doo-doo? Yeah, most of my art is available if you want to use a design for is incorrect. If you wanted to use a design for tattooing or something like that, I am open to that as a thing. You know, the usual things apply. You know, artist credit and all that. Work with your tattoo artist to make sure that it's actually something they're willing to do. But yeah, I'm happy with that as a thing. Just not like, there are certain artworks that I'm like, no, that's, you know, you might have to buy that one. You might have to buy the rights to that one. Which is pretty standard and fair. You know, I'm not probably not gonna sue anybody, so you know, if you really want to and you don't feel like you should have to pay, kind of shitty, but sure, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you. But yeah, these ones are definitely up for grabs. So if anything in here particularly strikes your fancy, the milkshake from before I think would make a great one, mainly because it's so simple. But I also think the design is kind of cute. It's definitely not a me tattoo. I could sue someone. If someone screws you over, you might make enough money to get down to Melbourne sooner. Yeah, not for a tattoo though, I think. If it was a tattoo artist and they were doing it to like hundreds of people or like multiple people and charging a lot, then yeah, absolutely. Don't steal other artists' work, that's shitty. But if like one of my viewers particularly loves an artwork and they want to get it, and so they take it to you know, they personally take it to a studio and the studio is fine with it, then, you know, that's, I don't have huge qualms with that. There's very few artworks that I've done that I would be like, hey, no, this is specifically a thing that like you would have to pay for. Like anything on my merch store is a good example. If it's on my merch store, you know, pretty safe bet that I don't want you to get it tattooed, or you know, use it for something else. But I'm very open to like people purchasing the rights to do things, and I have had people do so before. So if you are keen on that kind of thing, you're interested, then that's a thing that I can work out for. I can price for you. But like, just so you're aware, out there in stream world, I am aware of what my art is worth. I am a professional artist. I do this for my job. Yeah, there's a huge difference between like one person using it for personal reasons, like getting a tattoo on themselves, versus, you know, someone trying to make copies and prints. There was someone who wanted to use my artwork to make a series of paintings that they would then sell to other people. And I was like, no, I do my own paintings. If they want my paintings, they can just come to me and get my paintings. Like, if you want to be inspired by my artwork, that's fine. You can do an artwork inspired by mine, and I won't charge you anything at all. If you want to do that artwork specifically, if you want to make a single artwork, you can license the image from me and make an artwork. But I'm not going to give you free rights and free reign to, you know, make as many as you want and sell as many as you want. That's not how this works. That's not how the art world works. Or unfortunately, more realistically, that's kind of is how the art world works, but it's not supposed to be. Like, it's actually illegal, and it's, you know, people taking advantage of people who don't know any better, which is really shitty. So it's important to teach those who don't know, and to hold your ground when you do encounter people being shitty, because like, can't stop you. You might have to fucking sue them, but like, that's a thing. Unfortunately, civil suits and copyright law stuff doesn't make you a whole bunch of money, so it's not particularly profitable to sue for it. It's quite difficult to prove, you know, that you made it in the first place, that it's exclusively yours as a design, that, you know, they knowingly and intentionally took the design and used it without your permission, and blah blah blah. It's actually quite difficult to end up making the money off it. Especially if you get a judge who, like, just doesn't care. Because there's a lot of judges out there who, you know, are not interested in art as a thing. And they just don't fucking care. Speaking of, I dated a girl once who, whose father was a lawyer. He was a barrister. Luckily he wasn't in, like, copyright law. I think he was in family law or financial law, one of the two. And he said multiple times, like, to my face, as an artist, knowing that I was an artist, that he didn't understand art, just broadly speaking, not a specific art, not like modern art, not minimalism or abstraction or whatever, that usually causes, like, conflict with people. But no, it was just any art. I don't see the point in any art. I don't understand any art. And then was like, I don't understand why people make it or do it. It's not a job. And I was like, okay, well, cool. I'm dating your daughter. I'm an artist, and I'm going to be an artist for the rest of my life. This might not work out, buddy. It didn't, for entirely different reasons. So, some foreshadowing there. Spoiler alert, she was kind of crazy. But in a long line of crazy, so, you know, misery loves company and all that. If you're new to the channel, historically my choice in partners has been quite poor. I have done significantly better though, which is good. I landed on a winner, not giving it up. Now I'm with Mel, she's a rich sugar mama. Exactly. Oh, she's just very reasonable, very intelligent, funny, and we work very well together. We support each other, we complement each other very, very well. And like that idea of, you know, division of labor and, you know, people looking after the thing that's their strength rather than just, you know, looking after what they have to because the other person isn't picking up on it. We do really, really well. I'm essentially the house husband. I look after a lot of the household chores. You know, if I was a womanly inclined person, I would be sort of quite traditional in the roles I'm doing. But as a man, it's not. But Mel is super happy with how that plays out. Works very well because she's not much of a cleaner. She enjoys cooking, but you know, she works a lot. She loves the work that she does. She makes a decent amount of money, so we can live off it. And so my income is then supplementary. I get to do my art. I get to, you know, do a little bit of work and then look after the house, look after the dogs. Look after her, which is great. These are all things I love doing. Don't have to teach as much, which is awesome, because I've never really been one for like traditional work. I have, you know, all my life done traditional work, but it's not something I'm particularly engaged by. And so it's great that I, you know, have found someone who recognizes that and is comfortable with that as a concept. She's just the best. I'm super lucky. And I know it. So, I'm not going to take it for granted or anything. Which is good, because, you know, she doesn't deserve it. Alright, this is coming along pretty well. So we're 2 down. As soon as I've finished this, which will be very shortly. Here's something I'm amazed by. I still haven't gotten COVID yet. I've tried very hard not to get COVID, but I'm still fucking amazed that I haven't yet. Given that, you know, I work in teaching as my main profession, my main income source. It's kind of insane that I've managed to last this long. Hey, this looks really good. I like that. I like this. I like this. I have done the good. Let's just clean up a little bit more this stuff. Yeah, it's just little things now. And honestly, most of this is probably things that we're not going to be all that worried about moving forward. Because we're not trying to make it... oh, that was too much. Not trying to make it absolutely perfect. But yeah, this is looking good. I can can tell I've been staring at the screen too long because the white in the background is starting to turn this kind of cream color in balance to the blue, the light blue in the middle. That's good. I really like that. Yeah, I'm happy. Okay, we're gonna merge all these down. Cool. All right, so we've got milkshake, which is pretty good. I really like that. And then we've got potion, which I think is even better. I think we spent we spent a bit more time on it, so that'll be why. Okay, let's cross out potion from the list. Potion. Nope. Nope, not purple. Potion, done. Catch me a mighty Inya? Yeah, why not? Now, it's 11 o'clock. I'm just going to check who else is streaming. Because we could raid into the Cognitive Beard. Oh, Firelight Chaos is streaming Temtem. Galacticat is doing a Scorpio. I think it's a Scorpio Kitty. James B. Barrow is doing his weekly art along. Stephen Preston is doing some interesting designs, character designs. Absinthe is doing an amazing painting. We have lots of options, people to raid into. But plan is we're going to continue for a little bit longer. We're going to try and rough out some of these designs. Yeah, we're going to rough out some of these designs and then we'll raid out. So collection, I think, is the next one I want to do, and I'm going to do it inspired by Sable, which is the game that we've been playing recently. It's great fun. I've taken a short break from my StarCrafting. We did a good job of playing through the campaign. We got through the first two, the Terran campaign and then the Zerg campaign. Now we're up to the Protoss campaign, and it's like the end of the arc, the story arc. But I think I've overdone it ever so slightly, so I need to give it a rest just for a little, and then we'll come back to it later. So we've been playing Sable, which is this awesome game. If you haven't played it, I would highly recommend checking it out. And one of the idea behind it is it's sort of a post-apocalyptic world. It's not very clearly laid out, but that's part of the charm of it. Is like the story is dynamic, and you can sort of read into and work out lots of interesting things about the story. But one of the big things is that the monetary system they have is based on like old computer chips, essentially, and like scrap metal, essentially. And they have these collections of chips with holes in the middle of them, because the chips don't really do much anymore. except like certain people know how to use them, but like not a lot. And so they're not really used for much anymore. It's kind of like a scavenger, agrarian type society. Very interesting dynamic. But you go around looking for these chips, these bits of scrap. So I think it would be interesting to represent that a little. I think we just go in and layer some of these parts. Which one is this? 14 collection. Yeah, it's a fucking beautiful game. It's a little expensive at the moment on Steam. Not that I don't think it's worth that amount, but just like I got it for cheaper. So I think the game is absolutely worth what I paid for it. It's a little rough around the edges at parts, and there isn't like... It's not a AAA content type game. You're not going to spend hundreds of hours on it, but I've sunk 5-6 hours into it so far, and I'd say I'm probably halfway through the game. It's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it very much so. Just a bit of like backstory on it. Essentially you play as the main character, obviously, but the idea is that there is a like a rite of passage, a coming of age rite of passage for all the people in this world, and essentially what happens is each of the groups, the tribal groups, are these kind of nomadic or semi-nomadic scavengers, traders, hunters, living off like bits of lost tech and scavenging what they can to survive. And your job or your role in the game is to leave your tribe, find your place in the world, whether that's coming back to your tribe and having a job to do, finding a job that works for you, or if it's finding somewhere else that works for you. And the whole idea behind it is you go out to all these different places and you do like odd jobs for people in various different like guilds almost. So there's like the guards, the merchants, the mechanics, the scrappers, the entertainers, and your job is to like go and try all of them out, go and help each of these groups and see which one works best for you. And then the sort of the end of the game or the end of the story is you pick one that works for you, for your play style, for your roleplay character, and where you kind of feel like you fit in the world. And you can decide whether or not you go back to your original town, or if you stay out and just be one of the people in the other towns. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting thing, a really interesting dynamic. Like going into the world and questing and experiencing new things. It's very up my alley. But it also does speak to me a lot about the like the kind of rites of passage that we've kind of lost in modern society. And like I find that fascinating and interesting as a concept, and it's done quite well in the game, so I enjoy it. I would recommend and advise other people play it, if exploration and RPG is kind of your vibe of game. There's some fun elements with got this like hover bike type thing. It's not super well designed, like perfectly designed, but it's well designed enough that you can have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, that's collection. So I guess we'll half. Gotta do it on the right layer. So let's half cross that one out because we're not fully finished. So this one is potion. This one is collection. Can't type today. Collection. There we go. So we got rid of that. What next one do we want to do? I don't want to do anything that's like too full on. Could do mushroom. Could do mycelium. 12 mycelium. Is it CEI? Celium. Mushroom. Something like this. Bit of a skirt. Staring at a bright white canvas is bad for your eyes, you know. Yes, yes, it is. I have already commented on the fact that my eye is starting to misidentify something just happened with one of my other computers. Just got a notification. I'm going to quickly save this in case something suddenly crashes. But yeah, staring at a white screen is not the goods. I would not recommend it. But unfortunately, that's how we start artworks. They start as a white canvas. This is true. I could put a colored background in there. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. Let's see. Maybe a light blue. I just don't want it to be, Oh, there we go. Computer's back on. That's weird. Anyway, that's, temporarily, yeah. Yeah, I just don't want to, just don't want it to affect the image too much. Vub vub. Someone's sharing videos to me on TikTok. That's always a concern. Well, you can never really be sure what it's gonna be till it turns up. I was so anti-TikTok for ages, for a whole slew of different reasons. And then people just like kept sending me TikToks, and I was like, fine, fuck it, I'll get it. I'll get an account. And you know, there's some good, interesting content on there. I'm still not sure that I'm particularly comfortable with it as a platform, but hey, that's the world we live in, I guess. But if you can get a good result, or a subpar one at best, or projecting your eyes, you can definitely can. Wizard in the streets, art god in the sheets. Exactly. That's it. Yeah, as long as it doesn't wreck the artwork, I'm okay with it. And it will. It's just, you know, my eyes are gonna get used to the blue, and then if I end up colouring anything, it'll turn out funky. But I'm not planning on doing a whole bunch of colouring after this, which is good. Oh, I missed out on a cloister. Probably would have tried to catch that if I had paid more attention. This is turning out pretty good. I can get viewers, can I? Well, buddy. Bye-bye. I mean, I know I should probably left it up because it was a special offer just for me. You missed the bang hammer? It's alright. I got it. Hi, Tia. What's your matter? Thirsty daughter. She says that's what's the matter. I'm a thirsty puppy. Alright, how's that look? That looks pretty frackin' awesome. Alright, we're happy with that. What's the time? 11 o'clock. Where are we? Oop. Is that the right layer? Yep. There we go. Mycelium. We might do one more. I've been streaming for 3 hours. Yeah, we might do one last one, I think. Ooh. Oh, me back. Don't know which one I want to do. No, it's almost 11:30. Why don't we just raid out? So we've done the milkshake today. We were trying to do our Speedtober. So we've done our milkshake, we've done a lovely potion here, we have done the start of collection, and we've done the start of mycelium. Mycelium is turning out really nicely. I really like that composition. Collection's going to need a lot of work, but I think as soon as we put color into it, it's going to look great. I love the potion. I think this is a great design. I think someone should get this as a tattoo. And the milkshake is very cute. It's not my kind of tattoo, but I can absolutely see someone getting this as a design. Which is great. That's sort of what we were hoping for. I can see some things that I want to clean up just before we raid out. So let's quickly do that, and then we'll have a look. I think Firelight Chaos is probably the potential winner here. You'd get the potion, yeah, but you'd get like 100 of my artworks done as your tattoos. There's so many of my artworks that you want to get as tattoos. Not that that's a bad thing, just... Alright, let's get rid of the blue filter. Oh, I have noticed some white sections here that'll need cleaning up. Anyway, that's good. We've done good. All of these artworks. Yeah, you would. Hey, I'm not saying you can't. You absolutely can. Alright, so let's save that. We will come back and do glider at some point, because we do need to fix this up. You know, I do need to finish the commission at some point. Well, the request. It's not really a commission. And I will save this though. There we go. And so we'll figure out who we're going to raid out to. Run around to the little merch store billboard. Yes. There's my merch. You can't see the art. You can see the art. It's right there in front of you. Stop being ridiculous. Let's see where Fire is up to. They are definitely still playing Temtem. So we can raid into them. Otherwise, we've got a few cool art people that we could potentially raid into. No, bugger it. Let's raid into Fire, because she could do with the viewers to get her over the line for some things. So we're going to raid into Fire Like Chaos. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing tomorrow, actually. Do you have any idea, Cog, of what we're streaming tomorrow? If we don't end up doing something, a GTA or a Sea of Thieves or a whatever, I will probably stream Art or Sable, one of the two. I don't know which. But otherwise, it's our usual Thursday sandbox survival RPG open world type thing. Broad category. So we'll be doing some of those, any of those. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for enjoying the art. If you would like to request something, if you would like to see something in particular, I do have a suggestion box down below in my About Me section. Otherwise, we have the Discord that you can send things to. Kaylee Schuler, thank you so much for the follow. Unfortunately, you're a little late. We're about to raid out to someone else. But thank you so much. The VOD is on if you want to watch the rest of the art. Right, we're leaving. Bye-bye. Bye.
Gotta